This is happening live in Isi-Uzo local government. Eha-Amufu part. We are going hungry. They are sleeping with our women. After sleeping with them, they will use a stick under their victory, which is very bad.
How long should we continue like this? How long? How long, really? Engagements upon engagements, promises upon promises. How long shall this continue? It's deeply unfortunate that we find ourselves discussing about these attacks once again after a few months of talking about it. I would like to take you through some of the timelines of some of these attacks because again, these attacks are recurring and they are specifically in two local governments, Uzowani and of course Isi-Uzo local government. It's just so unfortunate that we have once again started to talk about this just at the beginning of the farming season. Last year, part of the reasons why we had food prices soaring so high in Enugu was because farmers were scared to go to the farm. People were scared to even tilt their soil on the land that they own because of fear that they might be attacked. And now, just before a new farming season kicks in, we're seeing the same thing that played out last year, March, April. I'll take you to the timeline because I and my team traveled to Nimbo to do a story on that attack that happened last year around April. The governor had just visited and assured them and reassured them of the fact that he would bring those people to justice, and not just that, he's going to protect them, and even went ahead to develop what we call the PPP program, the Farm Produce City. That would, he says, in some way stop the attacks. I'm sure this video that is up now, you've seen the report that I did. That's me, the report, and then my team. We had engaged Neighborhood Watch at the time to go with us for that particular coverage. We traveled to hear firsthand the accounts of the villagers who seemed really helpless, to truly understand what they were facing in the aftermath of such an attack. It was a harrowing experience, to say the least. The narration of the story and the narration of the people there, it seems to me like the promises that have been made in the past, the promises that have been made even the current promise that was made, they seem to take it with a pinch of salt because it's still a new government as at last year. I mean, last year was just 1 year into His Excellency's administration, Pitamba. So they're hoping that this man comes with a totally different package. He's not the typical politician you know him to be. But when he promises, when he says he's going to do something, it seems to be somebody who you could hold by his words. I just also wanted to tell you that in 2016, there was a huge attack where over 40 persons were killed. That's under Buruburu. A certain white paper was supposed to be released, but that was never released. And there's even an existing law prohibiting the movement of cattle from one place to another in Enugu State. Yes, that was done under Eha-Amufu's administration. But just as, in fact, that very day that law was enacted, a week after, we saw herders carrying their cattle everywhere. I mean, in the city center, not in the hinterlands, city center. I thought that there was a law and they're just moving freely with cattle on the streets of Enugu State. the willpower, what we've seen, the willpower hasn't been there. I'll play all of the reports because aside the Nimbo report where over four persons were killed, not over now, 4 persons were killed last year. Aside from that, there's also another story in Eha-Amufu that I did. That was December last year. The experience that those people told me was one that you could feel it. Food crops have become very expensive. I was stunned. When you travel that way, because of the fact that that local government is one of the major local government that produces food crops. That's where they get it from. There's a farm produce city there, okay, that's been in existence. Part of the reasons for the establishment of the farm produce city was because the governor thought that that would, in one way or another, solve the farmers' headers clash. So far, it doesn't seem to be so. So these guys told me what their experience have been. Like I said, these 2 reports, the Nimbo report that we did and the one that I did last year in December, that will be played right at the end of this particular video. And I will just need you to also comment if you will, because it's almost seem as if it's a helpless situation. I mean, when you have successive governments come and isn't really doing so much, or seem to be doing so much, you tend to also be scared that it's just a matter of time for this to spread. Give it to Peter Mbao. I had personally asked him when we had his Twitter space in December, because that was around the same time that I did that Eha-Amufu story. I asked him a specific question. In fact, that wasn't the first question. I was the host of that particular Twitter space. I mean, there are people who still cry about going to the farms in these places. Nimbo, Eha-Amufu, Isi-Uzo, Uzowani. People who still cry that they are scared for their lives. These attacks have gone unabated. Yes, you went to Nimbo and assured them and reassured them, but there's still the palpable fear. Nimbo may have calmed down, but Eha-Amufu has been one hotbed. These protests are not for chops. They're not just for mere show. I asked him a specific question on that Twitter space, and here is his response.
Let's welcome the executive governor of Enugu State. He has just joined in on the space tonight. Good evening, Your Excellency. You're welcome.
Yeah, good evening, host. Thank you very much. Thank you. And let me express my profound gratitude and to also say how delighted I am to be yet another section of X space. I think the last time we had one was sometime in May, and here we are again. But this engagement and interface is not one that I take for granted, because I see it as an opportunity not only to highlight our commitment and the things that we have pledged to the Enugu to do. But it also underscores our commitment to open governance.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Appreciate your opening remark. So I'll go first. Your Excellency, in your acceptance speech in 2020, you mentioned plans for connecting rail lines across towns in Enugu State. Could you update us on the status of this rail project? And recently, of course, just now, you announced the Enugu Air project, which was not included in your regional manifesto. Why do you think the Enugu Air is important at this time? What benefit does it hold for the people of Enugu State? In the last space edition, still speaking transportation, you promised buses within the Enugu metropolis to ease transportation for residents. We haven't seen any of it since that announcement. Why hasn't that promise been fulfilled? Insecurity, residents of Nimbo, these are areas that I have reported. These are documented reports that I have done. Residents of Nimbo, Uzuane, Ikem, and Eha-Amufu in Isi-Uzo have experienced repeated herdsmen attacks, which have led to increased food prices and a decline in farming activities. What is your administration doing to address these security breaches? I understand there has been some interventions regarding that with your PPP program with a farm produce city. I understand that that is still ongoing, but it does look like that is not solving the problem of the feathers class, because that's the reason why that particular PPP program was established. Are you worried that even with the establishment of the farm produce city, that this particular farmers headers problem wouldn't go away? I yield the mic to you, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. That's a multi-barrel. So let's take the transportation first. You're right. Our manifesto speaks to a multimodal transportation system. And what that means is not to rely solely on the road transport, but to think about other means of transportation to ease movement and to also ensure that people move from one point to the other at the strictest minimum cost. And so the idea of the rail line is still live. I did mention that in town hall yesterday. It took us about 9 months to do the feasibility. So we're going to start the implementation of the first phase of the rail line. We have, from the feasibility we've done, we already know we need about 137 kilometer of rail track to connect our urban, interurban, and some semi-urban locations. So we'll be talking about moving from here to Nsukka, to Ogo, to Udi, with the new rail system that we're going to develop. And by all means, also within the city, you'd have the light rail that will take you around. So that feasibility is ready. One of the longest lead items for projects like this is the feasibility. And it took a while to do the pre-feasibility. We had a nod to go after the pre-feasibility, and then we went to a full feasibility phase. And I'm glad to announce that done. So the next thing, of course, is to do your, get your financing and then get that right. But the truth about this thing is the feasibility we did revealed that this is bankable. Okay, so this is a project that the state would carry out with minimal investment on the part of the state. But this is some project that can be executed with investors coming to partner, just like you mentioned, the PPP model.
And so far, really, I think that he's doing his best to the best of his abilities. He's established the Enugu State Security Trust Funds. He's established the security command system. He's collaborated with police, the Nigerian army. He's done a lot in terms of security, because he knows that to move the economy of Enugu from $4.5 billion to $30 billion, like he promised, security is not just something you mouth and say we are doing it, we're doing it. It must be seen to be done. He knows. Security is key. If I bring my investment to Enugu, will people be secured enough? Will it be secured? How am I sure that the buying capacity of people in Enugu will be able to, connect with my business? What level of atmosphere, what level of conducive business atmosphere does the Enugu State government have for the people who are coming with their investment? Because again, investment is key. Give it to him among the top 5 performing governors of Nigeria, but he knows that security will be a huge dent on his administration. And he's doing everything possible. But whether his effort is enough, whether his effort is seen and felt across the 17 local government area is something that is still not adding up. Yes, in the local government, before 5 local governments that seem to be townish, there seemed to be a level of security, seems to be a level of cleanup. I mean, the distress response team is there. I've seen several of those distress response vehicles at night, just moving around. It was quite, I mean, look, I will not condemn the governor because of this attack. But what I would like him to do is let him now focus on these attacks right now, because that's actually one of the things that dented the administration, or the past administration, Ugwuanyi's administration. And it seemed like the governor at some point, they were accusing him of, siding with the people of the Fulani people, and of course, when people are in distress, are in pain, they make all sorts of allegations. So I thought that, by and large, that he should now focus on this thing squarely, this attacks squarely. While we were even in Nimbo filming our reports, there was this distressing news that came from local neighborhood personnel that another attack was happening. That was last year. My heart sank. I thought to myself, I mean, is this the end for me? I needed to, say that. I also wrote an article about the Nimbo crisis in 2024, and that piece apparently earned me a place amongst the top 20 Nigerian journalists that were sponsored by MTN Nigeria to participate in the media innovation program that MTN has, yearly. Yes, I pay. I did a comprehensive report about how technology can be used, to secure our hinterlands, to secure our localities, and that piece got the attention. And I was selected amongst the top 20 journalists. I mean, look at my picture there. I was number 2 on that list. I'm just hoping and calling on the governor to please just be in the know about this. There are people who probably want to spoil your administration. There are people who want to dent your administration, and you wouldn't allow them, all in the name of politics. So I'm hoping that, he squarely focuses on these issues of security for Isi-Uzo and Uzowani. I also know that while going into Eha-Amufu, there is an army checkpoint. But the army checkpoint, the people there are saying the army checkpoint isn't really doing them any good. That is, army checkpoints, I mean, if there was really an army checkpoint, it's security for the people, right? But they really don't seem to be doing anything per se. So beyond just putting an outpost of the military there should be much more concerted efforts. empowering local vigilantes, using technology if possible, and doing some sort of collaboration. And we know that there's a Fulani community in Enugu State. Call them in. There's a Fulani community in this place. Call them in. It's also another way of even collaborating with the Benue State government, because the Benue State is on the other side. So either Benue State or Kogi State, then call them in to talk about this on the round table, to discuss how, this border security problem can be resolved, squarely. I don't believe that one state government will be able to do it, because while Benue State is chasing them, they are entering your state. And while you are chasing them, they're entering Benue State. So there must be a collaboration between the governments and people of Benue and the government and people of Enugu State to be able to forestall this particular issue. I really feel sad, because I have been in the middle of all of this. I have done reports on these issues. I just hope that much more must be done in order to safeguard these people's lives. So like I promised you, I'm going to play those two reports, the one from Nimbo from last year and the one I did just December last year. And so I'm hoping that you're also going to join the conversation in also putting up your thoughts about how these hinterlands must be secured. Again, like it or live it, we wouldn't stop going to the farm because people are waiting for us to be killed. You don't want us to run away and leave our lands for total strangers. If there's need for some dialogue, I know there have been some dialogue since 2021, 2022, but that dialogue was just a dialogue that saw peace for the time being, and over time, it dovetailed into something else. So these are the realities on ground, and these are the things that I actually wanted to say for those who I promised I was going to say something about it. So these are actually what I wanted to say. I appreciate you. Subscribe to this channel if you can, and endeavor also to let me know what you think in the comment section. I would really love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. I truly appreciate.
Ikem and Eha-Amufu towns, once celebrated as food basket of Isi-Uzo local government area, Enugu State, appear to have lost that enviable status. Residents now lament the soaring cost of food items in their locality, a situation that threatens food security in the region.
We are having some problems, some challenges because of food stalls. But since at least, let me say our governor, Pikamba, is trying, but for now, we have some project that Lagisani is doing close to this but since that up to now, we have never seen anything produced or one or two things. So we don't know. Things is too cost. Like me now, this is my shop. I have like three kids. I know how it takes me. I know how it takes me to feed my family. But you're not supposed to like that, because we are here in a village. Everything could be cheaper, but the thing is going higher.
And we still hope and pray that with the help of the government to still bring the price of food to a low standard. Are you getting me? So the price of food in this community is quite high. We'll still pray that with the project it will still help people that stays around here.
Oh yeah, because that place where they pursue us before palm oil they cheap here. Now palm oil na 4,000, 45,000, 40,000, from 40,000 go up for gallon. Palm oil. While for this town, nothing will be food where would they lack. Before, when you buy 3 yam, highest they buy 3 yam 1,500. But now 3 yam we dey normal where me and you go chop belly food. Now 7,000, 80,000, 3 yam.
A Signature TV investigation reveals that a painter of beans now costs between 6,000 and 8,000 naira in the area, making the staple increasingly unaffordable for many families.
It's it's Guzo beans.
Guzo beans?
Yes.
How much is a penta of Guzo beans?
Penta is 6,000 naira.
6,000 naira?
Yes.
How much is this one is what? Which beans is this?
Iron beans.
Iron beans.
Yeah.
How much is a penta of this beans?
8,000.
8,000 for a penta?
Yes.
How much is this one?
This one is 5-5.
For a penta.
Yes.
What is this beans called?
The same guzo, but this one is the smaller
Smaller.
guzo.
What about this one?
Millet.
Millet. How much is this?
The penta is 4,000 naira.
4,000 naira.
Yes.
I thought they said they have a produce city. That because of the produce city, that things will be cheap here. Why are things still expensive here?
This is the way we bought it.
This is where you guys got it.
Yes.
Did you buy it from the produce city or you got it from outside?
No, it's from outside.
The Enugu State government had promised to tackle food insecurity in Isi-Uzo through the establishment of the Farm Produce City, an ambitious project aimed at boosting agricultural output. However, the initiative has yet to reach its full potential, leaving residents frustrated and skeptical. Adding to the discontent, a local resident alleged that the government's decision to liaise only with Ike-Munkwo in planning the Farm Produce City without consulting Ike-Uno has sparked tensions and left parts of the community feeling sidelined.
Governor does not know this thing I'm telling you now. He has just been misled. They told him, they told him. Because nobody was speaking on the speaks for us. Yes. Yes, Ike-Munkwo, yes, it was part of Ogo. Ogo, that's the Ogo community. The owners of that land. That's where we were born. We were born some in a village called Ajebo, or Dobdo, Eko, Orene, Ishado. All those five communities. We were living behind that Ike-Munkwo. Before the war, the war started. After the program in the north, we came down from our so the heat of the program drove our people from there. The dormers came. So we were just fresh from the war. Then the war started, the real war, like the Biafran war started. Then the people couldn't go back to that place we were. So having come out from there, Ike-Munkwo gained space. They kept moving, gaining space. So when we were looking for autonomous community, of course, if we said autonomous community is for development, we allowed it. So they went and captured the whole area where we were living. I was born there. But many people, my forefathers were there. So the people got that place, assumed the ownership of that place. When they were looking for autonomous community, they kept the whole of that place. Those communities are under Shadow, Rene, Echo, into Omanze. They call that's Omanze. Omanze is wide area. So they because they needed that that area to fulfill the government requirement.
A cross-section of residents also pointed to a more pressing issue contributing to the rising food prices.
In our area, the farm, we are still having challenges of food. And the main reason is that people who are living from the farm where we cultivate, we are still fear of Fulani herdsmen because they are still kidnapping some people. There is a farm at Enugu State, the place we call Enugu State, and Enugu State to be precise, Ikelegu. The people those area, the land is very fertile, and because of the fear, even of recent, they even kidnap people. So the other day they shoot two immediate family. But as I'm talking to you now, the cattle rearers are still there in the farm, consuming all the rice cultivated. They have deployed their cattle into the rice farm. So we are kind of shortage of food this time, but next year will be the worst.
Because the little rice that we cultivated, numbers have devoured it. And farmers are no longer ready even to go to the farm, because once you say, please, I'm begging you to remove this cattle from my farm, they will just cock their gun for you. And you see our people running away. So the issue is not that everything is okay, not at all. They are just trying to see if they can now revisit us as they did last year. But calmly, our people are taking conscious about, let them eat the rice and let our life remain for us.
It's too much. It suppose una come early now, una say make we carry una go where people do rice for farm. Una go say have their nama, go to their leg, go to their sheet, una go see them. Una go take know say the thing where they tell una na true. And if you no lay you dey for farm, you beg them to carry the nama comot. Either dem go comot cutlass to cut you if you repeat am again, or dem go raise the place for you, you go pick race. Yam sef, dem go uproot the yam and the cassava, put for nama. Nama go scrape all of them. Now we enter hunger, because the rice, you as you dey now, if you do farm, even one cup you no comot for inside, you go happy. Now hungry you go first now, because this is where when you harvest the rice, you go use the rice buy another thing wey you no get. But now dem don destroy all of them. Oil, because that place where dem pursue us, before palm oil dey cheap here. Now palm oil na 4,000, 45,000, 40,000, from 40,000 go up for gallon.
Up to today, the people living that side, they are still crying, because if they plant something like a rice, the Fulanis will carry the cow and go and clear the whole thing, more especially rice, cassava, and the yam. So it's, but not as before, it have already reduced. Food prices is very high. The food, more especially yam, because that side is the place where the big yams is coming from, and the Fulanis have located the whole thing. So the yam is more, the price is very high now. Okay, there is a yam which you're supposed to buy about 1,500 or 2,000, but if you go there now, 5,000-6,000 no go buy yam, about 3 yams, but especially yam. Cassava the same thing. Food is very high, but especially rice.
Herders' attacks on farmers in the community have severely disrupted agricultural activities, forcing many farmers to abandon their fields. While the Farm Produce City holds the promise of alleviating some of these challenges, its impact has yet to be felt. Until then, the residents of Isi-Uzo continue to struggle with escalating food costs and diminished agricultural productivity.
We are at Ugujoro in Nimbo, a community in Uzowani local government area. Deserted homes, empty farmlands is actually what greeted us when we arrived in Ugujoro, where armed herdsmen attacked Nimbo community in Uzowani local government area. It is a tale of devastation, anger, anguish. The story is unbelievable. At this very spot was where the funeral ceremony was being held. Canopies were actually mounted around this area when these armed herdsmen came through from that spot, from that zone, and attacked them. This spot was where one of them died. If you could see, there's still some blood stains right on this spot.
While I was returning, I heard Hausas were shooting in the village. I didn't know what to do. I asked what happened. They told me Fulanis have killed my husband and my grandson. I was running. and heard sound of gun. I returned back to inquire what happened. I went to the uncompleted building, and behold, I found my father and my son shot dead.
This spot was where the village head of Igujere was killed. He ran away from his house and came in right here to hide, only for the armed herdsman to come right here and shot at him, and he died right here.
I was sitting right here, that is my room. And all of a sudden, as I just entered the room because I wanted to dress up and go out, I had 3 gunshots right beside my house there. I opened the curtain and I saw these 3 Fulani herdsmen right by that side. That is where they stood and shot the gun that way. And the whole people that were sitting on this canopy scattered. Myself, I ran back towards my neighbor's place. I was following that man because I'm a stranger here. I don't know where to run to. So I was running alongside with him. When we ran down towards that very house there and hid ourselves, not even knowing that same place we were hidden, where the road they were passing to go back again. It was while they were going back, I now saw that there were 3 of them. It was 2 of them. I stood by the corner of by the wall of that house. There's an uncompleted building there. While the other man stood here with his small grandchild on the hand, and I was holding one other smaller girl. That was when these people arrived, 2 of them by this side, and they shot. The comment I had them made that time, you don't die today. All I was shouting was Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. They now released that gunshot too that killed this man and his grandchild.
We are dying due to hunger. The armed Fulani people, numbering 3, came shooting sporadically. My husband ran out into the farm for safety. One of the herdsmen ran after him while shooting. He eventually fell in the open field and died there. By then, I had already run off for safety.
Around 4 or 5, then the Fulanis surrendered our area. And when he was trying to run away, he was shot. They killed him from Gadsden. Herdsman killed him through gun. And he's now in the mortuary, he's dead. I don't know what to do. Very serious pain. I'm very, very serious in pain right now.
We are on a very large expanse of land. As a matter of fact, if you look behind me, you see some thatched houses. One of those who were killed on this farmland actually ran from his house, trying to escape down to that ditch, but only for him to be killed right at this spot.
What we are witnessing in this community, especially Nimbo, Ibano, Urobo, Iyekoro, Abi, is killings by Fulani herdsmen. We have apprehended 3 kidnappers, but government released them.
There is no love lost between the herders and farmers in Uzowani. They continue to point fingers, each blaming the other for the destruction and devastation. What was once a symbiotic relationship has turned into bitter anguish.
The Fulani herdsmen, when they started rolling their cows to this part of the world, they were friendly. All of a sudden, they changed. They started raping our women in the farm, destroying our farmland, and it was when they started destroying this farmland, they started doing a lot of havoc to our people, that our people now got angry against them.
Reverend Father Kasmir Urama was a former parish priest at St. Mary's Catholic Church, Nimbo.
Every Sunday when I come out to celebrate Mass, or in the morning Masses or Sunday Masses, you barely see people, because most of them have gone to Nsukka, others to nearby villages when they were trying to secure their life. And it really, just as I said, affected my ministry, because no person to minister to.
Help us develop our farm projects. You won't see in other place. It's very difficult to say place that's more fertile. If you plant cassava here, you don't need fertilizer. If you do that, it will get rotten. because of the fertility of the land. The land is surrounded by water. There's this river that moves from here to Anambra. That is the boundary point. And so it makes the land to be very fertile. But we don't go there. Have you seen anybody in the farm there? It's only we go around your house, you see people cultivated here. When we have land that is being wasted, this is our natural resources. It will affect the whole, you won't talk of hunger in Enugu State. It will affect the whole nation.
While we're shooting this, we just received information from the neighborhood watch here in Enugu that there has been some shooting in Adani community that involved 2 policemen and 2 neighborhood watchmen. A development that is making more people flee from Nimbo.
I won't leave my house. My tenant is leaving. Please, government should come to our rescue in Nimbo.
When this attack took place, the Enugu State Governor, Peter Mba, was in Nimbo to reassure the people. Unfortunately, no matter the commitment of a state government, there is a need for an intentional federal government intervention to stem this time bomb that is fast engulfing the southeastern region of Nigeria.
Did you not see people coming up while you were coming? They are from this village, but they run back to other villages. Once it is 5, 6, you won't see anybody around here, except the young ones. How long will they live like this? Should we leave our father's land to where? Because it has been a decimal occurrence. So please, what we need as Nimbo people, I thank God our governor visited us and he gave us a firm promise. Though the past gave us promises and nothing ever happened. There was no impact. Even from the federal, they came with Black Maria 2017 that they were going to convert this place to commercial, help us to have a mechanized commercial building, agricultural projects. Till today, no dime. We don't have any other occupation but farming. We need mechanized farming, at least to clear these bushes around us, so that if enemies are coming, at least we'll be able to be visible. We have enough vigilantes and capable. I'm telling you, if they are well strengthened and equipped as supposed to be.
Behind me is a yam barn. A barn, of course, is a place where farmers store their crops, yam, cocoa yam, and all whatnots for the next farming season. If you look right inside it, it's empty. It has been a tale of destruction and devastation for this community. As a matter of fact, this agrarian community is one that produces millet, maize, and farm produce, in fact. This is what they do. They eat food from what they till. The soil is quite fertile, as far as I know, and this is even much more devastating because it is the month of May, and this is about the time that people are returning to the farm to plant crops and, of course, to eat from it at the end of the day. Nobody is headed towards the farm for fear of attacks by these herdsmen. The implications of this is that there would even be more hunger in the land. Charles Pius, reporting for Signature Television.